Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to my card making Wednesday class. Today, we're going to learn how to make this pretty card. I just love it. It's so gorgeous. I'm going to put this off to the side and just rest that right so you guys can kind of see that off to the side. And that is what we're going to be recreating our version of. It's a lot of layers, and the parts that I'm using, these are some of the chipboard pieces and the flowers, and I've used these on a couple other cards before, and here's another one. Look how pretty. So we're going to be using these little bits to show you that you can use the same elements over and over and over, but just using a different design. You don't have to keep on buying new products. You can use the same products you have or elements that you have and just change up the style of it. All right, now I'm going to show you, I already have one dry, so I don't have to wait on the drying time. But one of our background layers is this really pretty piece of paper right here that goes with this stencil. Now the stencil and all the products are coming from Little Birdie, and there is a coupon code down below for you guys to get your Little Birdie Crafts. They just launched here in the United States. They're pretty inexpensive. There's a lot of sales going on right now, and it's just awesome stuff. And you guys get an extra 5%. So let me move this up because my camera is a little lower than normal. There we go. Now we're in the center. So hello, everybody who's just gotten on. So what I have is I have a very, very, very flexible stencil. This one is a whole bunch, looks like little pebbles. And we're only going to be seeing a very small portion of the stenciling going around the edge of the card here. So what I have is I have a metallic paint. This is a silver. I thought the silver, there's gold, silver, so just kind of getting a lot of metallics. It's very, very liquidy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shake this real fast just to make sure all of the good stuff is everywhere it needs to be. There, look how pretty that is. Just needs a little bit of shaky. All right, and then we are going to just do a little dipping of our brush here. And we're going to go ahead and just rub this in. So it's going to become very, very metallic. You know what? I'm actually going to put another sheet of paper. Have another sheet of white paper, so if I go over, I don't get my cloth. I usually have a mat that I put underneath, but I didn't grab it, and now my stencil's off. That's okay. We'll try and line that sucker back up where it was. Let's see. You can washi tape this down or tape this down. I tend to just kind of freehand it. Yeah, so there's stuff. Oops. As I fly my stuff, I'm using a stencil brush from Dynasty. I absolutely love these brushes. They have a nice flat tip. They're a nice broad brush, and you can just go in and really just circle all over the place. Now, while I'm doing this, as a heads up, there was two other cards. There was a set of cards and also a mixed media project that I did using these products. And there is a giveaway for a giant prize pack. And you have through the weekend, I want to say you have through Sunday or Saturday, I forget. It's on the videos. And if you go into, it's for the Save the Crafty Hearts. So it's on the videos there. There is some fun stuff coming with that. So if you leave a comment on either of those videos, those are both live videos as well, then you have a chance to win a prize pack, which includes a lot of these Little Birdie products I'm using as we speak. The flowers, the chipboard, the paints, you know, some of the little dewdrops we're going to be using, or they call them pearl drops, sorry. So we're going to be using that in a little bit. Lots of fun stuff. And there's some other things that I use in the other videos that you will see that are also going to be in that goodie box. There's one goodie box per video, so make sure you leave a comment on both of those videos for your chance to enter. So head on over to those. The Save the Crafty YouTuber, you're going to tell they're all very pinky. One of them is actually kind of pinky and blue and purple. They're altered containers. There's 3 containers in the picture. And I will do my best to go back, remember after this video is live, to put those links down below so you guys can be a part of that, so you can find it easier. And then the other one is a set of 4 cards. They're very pretty cards. All right, so now pull up your stencil and look at that. Very cool. So it got a little bit warped right here, probably because I picked up and dropped down, and it's a very thick, or it's a very liquidy paint. So a little will go a long way. If you notice, I didn't goop it on. I wasn't trying to smear it. This is a paint, not a texture. And so it is very, very thin. So just be careful when you're doing this kind of stenciling with that. I didn't push too hard with my brush, and then you just kind of let this off the side to dry. Very, very simple. Lots more people getting on right now. Yay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put this off to the side. I will need to make sure I clean this. I do have a little bit of water right here. I'm going to just quickly clean my brush. If a little paint gets on my stencil, I'm not worried about it. I should really wash that off right away, but it's okay. I'm more concerned about my paintbrush and making sure, because these are nice paintbrushes. I do not want to ruin them. All right, so there we go. I use mason jars for all kinds of stuff. That is looking good. I'm just going to set this down on the ground out of the way because I already had one dried and cut it to size for you. Yay, I'm with it. So you can take all kinds of stencils and use them as backgrounds. In this card, if you're noticing, we're just using a hint of it. We're not even really seeing it. It's just something in the background. You could also do something where it could be like a stamped background, same concept. It's just a hint of something else. And since we have lots of metallics, that's what we were going with on this card. Now I went ahead and cut all of our paper layers down to size. I think doing cards that have lots and lots of layers just looks so pretty. And having little strips, especially if you have lots of colors on colors, having a white strip in between, I think is so cool. So for most of my layers, I've gone down by 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So I've gone down by 1/4 of an inch, except for this big pink one here. I went down by 1/8 of an inch on both sides. And then for this strip layer, I went down by 1/8 because I just wanted a little tiny bit of it showing. So I like to rough these up when it looks you could leave it, but you know what? Why don't we leave this one plain? But I'm just going to show you real quick how to rough up a card or rough up a paper. It's really easy. So that way you can see the difference between a non-roughed up card and a roughed up card. And that way you can get the difference. So all I do, I have a machine that does this as well, but a pair of scissors, there's distressing tools out there. Tim Holtz has got one, Prima's got one. There's a lot of distressing tools, but scissors, guess what? Will do the job just great. Open it up and then just do that. That's it. And it gives you a little rough edge. If you want to go even more severe, push harder. If you want it just slightly, leave it like that. It just gives it kind of like this little edge to the edge of it. All right, because we got a lot of layers going on here and there's lots of thickness to this, we're going to use a glue for all this. So I'm using my Super Tight Max glue tip. On the one end, it's got a big opening so I can really get in there and add my glue all over. And this is a bulky card. I will not say not. It's a very bulky card and not one that you would put in the postage in the mail. Unfortunately, that's not something that you can really do with this. So you'd have to go through and put it in a padded mailer or hand deliver it. It's just nature of the beast on that one. So all I'm doing is I'm just adding the layers now. Again, this one I took and I roughed up all my layers. Every single layer in here I added a little rough edge to. This one we're going to keep plain just to show the difference. Now this one I used a plain pink background, and this one we're going to do one that's got a little bit of a floral background just to change it up a little bit, see what's different. So a little changey there. So it's just layer. So already, which one are you liking more? Are you liking the one that's got the rough edges or the clean edges? Personal preference, I think. I know some people like them both ways. All right, now I'm going to go through and layer this up. Put this on here. So I should have shown you without it, but actually I have one already pre-cut for another card. So if I just did this, it looks kind of flat. It doesn't have enough dimension to it. So I like the look of the white on the background. It makes this little layer pop a bit more, just adds a little bit more something. To me, I think I like that look a little bit better. Now, if you wanted to go through and pop any of these layers up and add some dimension to them, totally fine. But I already feel like that we've got lots of dimension happening here that's not necessary. So it's all cool. I also could have flipped this paper and turned it around the other way. I think that would look really cool as well. So we're just gonna pop that in there. So like you can see part of the florals. I wanted this edge to be kind of clean because when we're adding in our sentiment here, these flowers were gonna be underneath it and it just looked really busy. I wanted a nice clean space. So we've got lots of linear stuff going on here. So again, which way are you liking it? Are you liking it with the roughed edges or without? Again, personal preference on that one, I think. I like personally with it, but I wanted to show you both ways. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add our little sentiment. Now, I already have another birthday one that I want to use. I like it because it's coming out from this direction. There's also this one, and if we moved this over, this strip over, we could realign and have the card going in the opposite direction, which would look really pretty as well. I think they both would look fine. I just personally like having all the bulk of my card towards the edge seam, the opening part. I think it just looks a little bit better. So then I have a couple of these, and when you get the package, it has 4 of them in there, and I think I'm absolutely in love with these. I just think they're so pretty. Hi, Danielle. How you doing? So I can use 2 on this card and 2 on this card, and it gives me that linear, well, non-linear, this diagonal. So it's something opposite, and that's what's grounding the entire cluster that's going on here. So it gives me kind of like a base. Otherwise, this would just be free floating. So having this element here and also having the vertical element here is giving it the non just smack in the middle of the card. That's giving it a place to go. So you get 4 of them, and I used 2 of the largers, and so I'm using, no, I used a large and a small, and now I'm using kind of a medium and a small. I guess that's the way to look at it. It works both ways. It doesn't matter. All right, and then one of the other flowers is they have these really beautiful flowers, and so I used this pink one. I don't know this one. So I'm just using all the pinky ones. I already have one that's open. So let's go with. Let's see. Yeah, I used that one. So do I want to go for the darker pink? Let's go for the darker pink this time. And these already have little leaves on them. I think they're so pretty. So they already have leaves. This already has a lot going on. We're actually going to end up tweaking this little guy right here and bringing it forward. So I'm going to kind of try and move this now, and we're going to glue it in place. But I need to kind of shift it because I want to, and this is already stuck down, by the way, but we're shifting this because we're going to add another flower in there. And then because I have dark, I'm going to go opposite, and I'm going to add the lights. And then I need one more on top, so we're going to go with light again because I have this dark, dark flower right here. So it's a little cluster of pinks. And so here's my count. When it comes to doing clusters and it comes to doing lots of layers, I like to go with odd numbers. Now, in terms of flowers, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if you want to count 5, 6. Then we have 7, 8, but then we have this element, which is 9, and that gives you that odd number. I think it looks better as an odd number versus an even number. Hi, Carrie. So it adds just a little bit more to it. Now, this piece is already stuck down, and I like, well, I want to tweak that. You know what? It's on there. So it's really well stuck, and if I pull that up, I'm going to rip the paper. It has some really good adhesive to it. But I am going to go in with my little glue pen right now because I'm going to use the other end now and just come in and add a little tiny dollop of glue, because I want to pull this flower a little bit forward. This guy's fine. It's just fine. I just think I want to be able to see it. And so over here, I kind of pulled it forward. All right, now I'm going to come in with my chipboard. And I'm going to separate the chipboard because I really want it to come all the way to this corner. This chipboard's already primed, so if you wanted to paint this, like you could paint this that silver, but I really like that white. I think the white and the natural of it just looks really, really pretty. You could also flip over and get kind of this rustic look, which I think would be awesome too. There's really no wrong way to use, whoops, I got to put the glue on the side because it's the way I want it to orientate. So I'm going to spread these out. And I love using a wet glue. I know some people ask me, could you use like hot glue? I don't like hot glue on cards, mostly because I feel like it's going to burn the paper. Plus, once it's on, it's on. And sometimes I like to finagle and shift things around and move things around and worm them. And I can't do that if it's like this had the pop dots. I can't move that anymore. Like it's stuck. It's on there. And too many times I've lifted this up and roughed this, so I'm adding a little bit of glue just to be careful. Too many times I have messed up and put things in the wrong spot and been like, crap, I really wanted to move that to a different place. And so now I've got the flexibility of going to want that higher or lower, and I can move it around. And when I'm done, I just let it be and it's set. So I'm going to come in, and this time I'm going to put the glue on the paper for my little flower here. I'm going to tuck that one under. Make some pretty flower clusters. But I don't want to hide. I just want to have a little peekaboo of this little guy right here. So this is where if I have a wet glue, I can maneuver so I can see my little bits and bobs. And then the last one is going to go right here, right there. and then tuck this little guy under. So my big flower, which is raised because the pop dot is going to be on the one on top, and all the others are kind of like hanging out underneath it. There we go, right? Hi, Sandy. Hey, everybody's gotten on. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. We're just making some pretty floral cards. Now, I went with all pink on this because I just decided pink was the color I was going to go for. But you could totally go if you wanted to go like a purple theme, or we could have just mixed and matched and added other colors. I just decided that pink was the way I was going to go today. But yeah, you could go a whole other route. Take this card and turn it into something very different. Go with, I mean, pick a color scheme if you want to. Pull out some of your old flowers. What if you don't have this really pretty little sticker thingy here? What could you do instead? Well, you can get a stamp. There's a whole bunch of really pretty stamps. Pop that up and then add your own flower cluster right there. And these flowers are super, super simple. They're just a spiral that you spiral up. You know, these ones are a little bit more delicate because they have a lot more layers to them. So I definitely love the look of it, but you could totally recreate this little sticker element right here and just kind of have fun with it. Well, thank you so much, Beth. I appreciate it. Glad you like it. Now, just for something a little bit different, and there's a whole bunch of different colors of these. These are the pearl drops from Little Birdie. There's a whole, I mean, Ranger's got their liquid pearls. I mean, I just happen to have them right there. There's all the Nouveau drops and stuff. And I'm just going to do this on a spare sheet of paper so you can see the colors. Now, the pink one, I don't think matches the color quite right. It just, the colors don't match. And it is going to dry, but it just didn't go for me. It looks almost a little too, I don't know, just it doesn't work. It's just me. I know I've got a lot of different pinks, but it didn't quite gel with me. So I went with white. And to me, that's always kind of a default. So if you've got black, you've got white, you've got gray, you've got silver, you've got gold. To me, those are the good ones. And so I always practice on another sheet of paper real fast to make sure I have my drops down and I got the right pressure. And I just did on this card. These ones aren't even dry yet. They're just going to be so very, very faint in the corner. They're just going to be just there. So here we have 3 drops here and then 3 drops. And I made a mistake on this one. And when I picked up the card and it wasn't dry yet, and I totally like stuck my finger in it. So I just wiped it clear again and redid it. And they're a little bit, because the paper is saturated, they didn't stay on top of the paper like a little ball. It kind of spread a little bit, but I think it's because the paper was saturated. It also gave the paper a totally different color right there. And I don't know if it's going to fully dry out, but you know, oh well. You know, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of layers. It's not what I would call a clean and simple card where if you make a smudge, you're like, cards like these, there's a lot of forgiveness to them. So if you mess up and you make an oopsie on them, no big deal, because it's just going to be more, you know, fun that goes with it. I think, you know, that there's some forgiveness in cards like this that have a lot going on. All right. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully, this one tends to bubble, and I don't know if it's because I had it facing the wrong direction. So 1, 2, 3, and then right here. Oh, I'm going to do it on this one. Well, you could go either way. You could go here or you could go on here. I decided to layer it on this one just because, and I know there's dots there already, but I'm just going to just go over top of them. Pretend like the dots weren't there. This one's bubbling. This is a very, very, very thin liquid. It comes out really, really fast compared to some of the other drops that are out there. So just to kind of show you the difference between the drops, this one is, I barely touch it and it drops out. And if you go high, it gives you a big splat. So it's very liquidy. And you can see it's very, very liquidy. Whereas like the liquid pearls from Ranger, these are really like, I have to push. I have to get a lot on there, and look, it's very, very thick stuff. And as I push it, it's just different. It's not as liquidy as the other. I think they both have, it looks really gross. That color when you smear it reminds me of something babies do. Shh. Or your shoes after you've mowed the lawn and they have that kind of tint of green to it. Yeah, one of those. We're going to remove that. Get that out of there. Just reminds me of something yucky. I like fresh cut grass, but meh. Which we've been doing a lot of cutting grass around here lately because it's getting warmer. So I think each type of drop has its own cool use. It just depends on what you want to use it for. If you're wanting a thicker drop, then there you go. If you want a thinner drop, there you go. Everybody's got their own reasons for thicker, just like with gesso or just like with, you know, paints. Why do you have a thin paint versus a thick paint? They all have their own use. So just kind of depends on what you like. So there it is, a couple of cute layered cards going down by either 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. Picking, you can do paper packs. Those are super simple to try and get the card layers. A little cluster of flowers, giving yourself a nice linear and then something to kind of to work off of. So that's why I created that diagonal instead of just having that cluster. If you didn't have that diagonal, it looked like they'd be floating. And then having something kind of different, a change in the direction from what everything else is in the card. And that is your sentiment. And it pops out because it's kind of sticking out of everything else. So it gives you that horizontal because everything else is very vertical looking. So it gives your eye something to go to. And then just a couple of little something fun on the side there. And of course, the little stenciling we did at the very, very beginning, it's that little pop of something kind of in the background. That's just a little hint of it. And if you wanted to take the same paint, like I said, whatever you did for the stencil, and you can use ink for the stenciling, it's just adding that pop of something else in the background, a complementary something. We could have done that in gold or in bronze to match the colors in here. But I could also take that same color because this is a chipboard. I chose not to put a color on it, but we could have painted it just to make it a little bit different if we wanted to do that. And then I use glue for everything just because there's a lot of heaviness to it. And so I use my super tight Max Dual Tip glue. It's going to take a sec to dry. This one I did a little while ago. The drops aren't quite dry yet. The drops, I think these ones, because they're so liquidy, they take a little bit longer to dry than some of the other ones. About an hour, hour and a half. And these have been going, well, not those because I screwed up and put my finger in them. But these little guys have been going for about 45 minutes now. I forgot to put them on when I created the card yet last night. So I had to put them on this morning. And I was debating which color I wanted to do. I was really humming and hawing between the two and going, do I want it? Do I not want it? Do I like it? Do you guys do that? Do you guys hum and haw over which, you know, like, are you going to add it, not add it? Is that what I want? Is that what I not want? I finagle and think a lot with my card making. Do I like it there? Do I not like it there? Do I want it there? And in the grand scheme of things, would it have made a difference at all with this card? Nope, not one bit. If I didn't have those drops there, if I did it in a different color, it would not make the card any less fun, important to somebody who I'm giving it to, special to that person I'm giving it to. It's all good. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and enjoying our floral layer cards. They're so pretty. They're so fun. Don't forget to leave a comment on the other two videos. I'll leave the link here as soon as I'm done. I'll repost those to the other two cards that I did. I think I can grab them super fast. They're in my bag. I have all my cards in my bag here. So this is the one card. Similar concept, a little bit different. Still have the layers. So still kind of the same products, but look how different the cards are. I mean, they're different but similar. So just kind of, this has got a lot more going on to it, but different but similar. And then an even different card. Let's see if I can find it quick. Can I find it quick? It's in my bag. I should have popped it out when I had it. Aha, here they are. So again, same concept. These are those drops dried, the pink ones, so they kind of worked. But yeah, a very simple, clean and simple card. So if you can see the video that's got 2 of these cards and 2 of these cards, leave a comment on that and you get a chance to win your own Little Birdie prize pack that I will mail out to you. And then there's also my altar jars, which I do not have handy. I left them in a different room in the house. I moved them. So, but there are 3 altar jars that have the flowers and stuff. There's a purple, a pink, and a blue. So take a look at those. If you leave a comment on either of those 2 videos, there's 2 prize packs. So leave a comment on both those videos for your chance to win. You have through this weekend. I don't remember if it's Saturday or Sunday, but it says on the video what the due date is for leaving your comment for your chance to win. So that's what I got. One other final announcement. This Friday is another fun video hop, and it is Spread Love, Not Germs. So it is another fun video hop that is all up for people. It's actually a blog hop, but I'm going to be doing a video on that. And so if you leave a comment, it's your chance to win some amazing prizes from a ton of companies. I want to stay, and I'm going to do a prize on my channel as well, specifically for this event. But there is a ton of stuff that's going on. So leave a comment for that. More prizes, spread the crafty love, you know, all that kind of stuff. Spread love, not germs, you know. And if you're creating, you're keeping yourself, you know, fulfilled, and you're being busy by doing something, and hopefully it's helping ease the that's going on right now, because I sure as heck feel that way. But I feel a heck of a lot better when I'm doing my videos and I'm creating, because my mind is on something else. I don't know if that works for you, but it definitely works for me. So thank you guys so much. Please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not subscribed already. Share this video with your friends if they are interested in card making or my kids crafts, which is we do on Tuesday and Thursdays live at noon. So I'd love if you have some kids, or know some people that have kids that love to do arts and crafts and they're looking for ideas. We have a new project every Tuesday and every Thursday. We are doing project number 6 tomorrow, and so they can go back and take a look at all the old ones. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye, everybody.